Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to FranTastic InSights, where we provide insights from some of the coolest people in franchising. My name is Joan Winchester, and I am the Vice President of Franchise Expansion for FranServe. FranServe is the largest franchise consulting organization in the world, and our mission is to help change people's lives through franchise ownership. And we do that through an incredible network of franchisors and franchise consultants who help their candidates explore franchise ownership. So we are so fortunate because today to present to us, we have an outstanding leader in the franchising funding world, FranFund. FranFund is a solid partner and friend of the franchise community. Sherri Seiber is the president of FranFund. Welcome to FranTastic InSights, Sherri.
Well, thank you, Joan. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here today. FranFund has partnered with FranServe, believe it or not, since 2014. And in 2021, we broke a record for the most deals ever with FranServe.
Wow, that's so exciting. So I would love if you could just share with our audience a little bit about FranFund, what you do, and what makes your company so unique.
Of course. Well, the genesis of FranFund was the idea of putting multiple funding solutions under one roof to make it easier for the candidate to put together a comprehensive capitalization strategy. Well, of course, that strategy was quickly adopted by some of our competitors, but today we have a few things that make us unique. First of all, and most importantly, probably, is communication. So during the discovery process, the consultant and the franchisor are communicated with every step of the way through the engagement and funding. Many companies say they do this, but you can read our reviews and see that we're really known for this trait. Second, our loan pre-approval process is very accurate. 99% of the candidates that we pre-approve go on to obtain a loan. So why is that important? Well, some companies rubber stamp these pre-approvals, which often lead to disappointment when it's time to actually go through the underwriting process and obtain the funds. Third, our ROBS, or rollover for business startup process, and the required third-party administration business is all done in-house by a very skilled team who communicate with all of the interested parties all the way until the candidate receives their funds and are able to pay the franchise fee. After that, the TPA team are there to ensure the client is in compliance with the IRS and the Department of Labor, which everyone knows is very important.
Sure, absolutely. So, Sherri, are there any specific market segments or brands that are more difficult to find funding for?
Well, that's a great question, because now is a very good time to buy a franchise because lenders are very interested in lending money to qualified buyers. During COVID, there were concerns that I'm sure many people heard about with fitness brands and even emerging brands, but we are able to obtain funding for fitness now with no issue. Also for emerging brands or brands with very few open units, that can be a challenge, but we have solutions as long as we have a qualified borrower.
Great, great. That's great to know. Now, Sherri, do you have you noticed any changes in the qualification requirements for franchisees seeking funding?
Well, no big changes, but we still need a very financially sound borrower. So when the bank is evaluating for each loan, they want to know, how is this borrower going to pay back this loan? It's that simple. So to calculate that probability, the bank is looking for a good credit history, demonstrating that payback ability, good credit scores, a reasonable and sustainable, what we call burn rate, that's expenses outflow, and cash still available after the required personal equity injection. Sounds pretty simple, right? The other thing that's happened recently is the SBA rule about overqualification has actually been executed a few times this year with people having too much money. So that doesn't sound like too big of a problem, but it is something that's come up in the last few months.
Interesting, very interesting. So, Sherri, we are passionate about veterans at FranServe, and I know you are as well. Can you tell me a little bit about what special programs are out there for veterans?
I'd love to. First of all, I have to share that FranFund is a member of the Vet Fran program that's supported by the IFA. And we also annually support the Armed Forces Bowl, which is held here in Fort Worth, Texas, which is also where the FranFund headquarters is. We have a 20% discount for veterans that do the rollover for business startup process, and lenders have SBA loans have discounts for veterans also that are very positive for the borrowing veteran.
Nice. So thank you, Sherri. Thanks for that. And now let's just dive a little bit deeper if we can and talk about one of our favorite hashtags on social media, Franchise Strong. We are very passionate about the concept of Franchise Strong. I mean, it embodies all that franchising is, right? A united group of caring, creative entrepreneurs that want to help change people's lives through franchise ownership. I mean, many people think about being their own boss. With franchising, it makes it a reality. So no matter the circumstances, the franchise community never loses sight of that. Can you share a little bit about what Franchise Strong means to you and the FranFund team?
We absolutely love the hashtag Franchise Strong, and we get to live it every day. We change lives every day by providing aspiring entrepreneurs the opportunity to obtain the funding they need to help them realize their dream of business ownership. So we see exciting success stories every single day, and we calculate that by providing this funding for new businesses, we actually support peripherally, of course, creating 10 to 15,000 new jobs every year across the country. That is really Franchise Strong.
That's amazing. Thank you for that. So it's easy to see how having a solid funding strategy delivered as efficiently as FranFund does makes it all the work easier for the franchise owner getting started. What a rewarding role you play, and you get to make a real difference in people's lives and veterans as well. So thank you to them, and thank you for helping their families as well. So Sherri, thanks again for FranTastic Insight participating with us today. Any last thoughts before we wrap up?
Well, Joan, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you today. I think FranFund and FranServe make a very franchise strong team. Onward and upward, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks again for being with us today.